We're going to do it. Did your screen just let you know that we're recording?
You did. And I'm going to quit my Outlook so I don't get messages from that. All right.
It, and for the folks tuning in, welcome to another partner check-in again with Dear Scout. But as you can tell, there's a new friend with us today. And that little exchange at the beginning, because this is take 5 of trying to get this check-in. We have had some technical difficulties. Some of the platforms and browsers have not wanted to work well with us, but we persevere. We're camp people, and we're here today because Dear Scout is a dear partner of ours, and it's Mental Health Awareness Month. So, duh, who do you talk to? You talk to your friends who are in the space, Dear Scouts in the space. But once again, the new friend, the new face on the screen, I'm going to let her do her own introduction. Would you please tell the friends at home who you are?
Yes, I'd be happy to. Hey, y'all. My name is Molly Carl. I'm a licensed clinical social worker. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and I'm one of the owners and founders of Dear Scout, our EAP for summer camp counselors.
EAP, that's Employee Assistance
Yeah.
Program. You folks at home keeping score. You say all that, and Liz has referenced her partner Molly all this entire year, and she always references the medical person, the clinician, that side of the team. However, that is not who you are completely. You're
No.
also a camp person. Help everybody out. What is your camp story?
Yes, I went to summer camp for 8 years as a camper in Burnett, Texas, and was a counselor for 6. And then worked at another summer camp of Andy and Liz's for a summer. And I'm now a proud mom with my oldest going to summer camp this summer.
First time they're going to summer camp?
Technically second, technically,
Okay.
second, but yeah.
Okay. But it's still it for the parents out there, and for me, I'm telling myself this. Cooper Rose is going to be 4 soon, so camp is just around the corner. It's going to blink and be here before you know it. It doesn't get any easier, but it is the right thing to do. Send your kids to camp anyway. It's Mental Health Awareness Month, Memorial Day weekend. Depending on when you're listening or watching this, hope you had a good Memorial Day weekend or have fun. Be safe. Either way, you are in this mental health space, and mental health is this term that is big, it's all encompassing, and it's new, it's emerging, it's developing, and sometimes that can be a little overwhelming for folks. So what I was hoping to ask you is just kind of 2 questions here that you can maybe lend some insight, and then folks can get back to their day. You either have staff banging at your door or campers waiting on you. So when camp professionals are approaching mental health, is there any kind of advice that you would give them? And I mean that literally, just people having a cup of coffee and somebody goes, Molly, I'm going to put some new focus on mental health. I'm really going to lean into that moving forward. What do you say to them? Is there anything that you kind of like to lean into in those initial conversations?
Yeah, I would say just have an honest and open conversation. If you're going to have the conversation, have it and have it fully. Don't just be like when you ask somebody, how's your day? And then you just keep moving when they say, and you're like, okay, well, so let's talk about work. Be there, be ready to be honest and listen to what people are having to say and be ready to turn over to the professionals when it gets to that point. If you ask somebody how they're doing and they say they're doing really shitty, like, sorry, I hope that's okay. Um, you know, empathize, see what they need. And if it's beyond that, then reach out to a professional that you may have on staff, collaborate with, Dear Scout, if you're working with us, to let them take over from there.
And it's important what you just said there is, be genuine, be intentional, be honest, and don't just say things that you don't mean. How you doing? Not too great. Okay, moving on. Why'd you ask? Why didn't you just say good morning? If you didn't want to know, say good morning and we can move about our day. But the other side to that is also knowing when to kind of turn it over. Mental health, especially at camp, and especially with our counselors coming up now, a little more aware, a little more empowered, a little more in tune with this. They're growing up in an era of discovery and exploration, and mental health is nothing new to them. We're kind of the newbies at this, incorporating it into our understanding of the world. And so being able to also tell those counselors, you're not alone. We're not expecting you to do this job, but knowing when to kind of triage. And there are certain steps you can take, like working with Dear Scout to help support the staff, maybe going through some mental health first aid trainings. There's a lot of things you can kind of get into, but I like what you said. If you're just getting started, be honest and be intentional with why you're entering this space. Now, when people get into the space, are there any kind of, and there's no manual, there's no
No,
guidebook, rule book,
never.
toolkit that's just off the shelf, here you go. But are there some tools that you maybe kind of share with folks who are getting started that say this is a good game?
Yeah. One of the things that you can do yourself when you're talking to somebody, especially camp staff or campers, is check in with them. A phrase I learned years ago when I was a teen, somebody said was halt, like stop, halt. So hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And I add in sick. So halts, hungry, angry, lonely, tired, or sick. If one of those things are off, we're off. We all know the phrase hangry. We all probably get a little hangry, and that's just an example. And at camp, these things can get really behind. We don't always eat the best. We don't sleep the best. After running around in a hot day with kids, you're tired. So checking in on those things and being able to make up for one or the other. If you can't always get the best sleep, find some way to get rest in some way or another. So that's one thing you can suggest staff to do. Some other resources are stopping and encouraging folks to do the things that rejuvenate them. So maybe it's taking a walk, maybe it's journaling, maybe it's going in their car and screaming really loud or listening to heavy metal, whatever it could be to rejuvenate them. Talk to a family member if they have that opportunity on their next time off. Take care of themselves. And then there are, natural things that can't, you're outside, you're in the sun, soaking those things up, or using apps like Calm or Headspace to relax if possible.
I I love the idea that you have to take care of yourself first. I've heard you reference before, as well as your partners. It's the analogy of running and you're with somebody else, or you're caring for somebody else. If that mask happens to drop down, they tell you put your mask on first, because you have to be able to function to take care of others. And if you're listening to this or you're watching this, then you are more than likely in a position where you're going to be taking care of others this summer. And so make sure you're taking care of yourself first. Make sure you are being open, honest, and intentional with your conversations around this, and also how you approach it. I'm going to sprinkle in my own curiosity, empathy, and respect. That's kind of a good mantra to keep in your back pocket. At least it helps you keep level-minded when you're going throughout your day. And then, last but certainly not least, remember that you're not alone. Camp is a community. There are several circles around you. They're going to be at your camp. They're going to be outside your camp. They're going to be at Deer Scout. They're going to be at the ACA New England offices. And so wherever you go from here, make sure, again, you're having fun this summer. You're taking care of yourself. And remember, what we do is uberly important to the overall wellness of society. So,
It
take
is.
that giant responsibility and have fun with it.
Agreed. Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you, Molly, so much for joining us. I can't wait to see you all again this summer, and hopefully we can check in later on once the dust gets settled.
Can't wait.